Good morning. It is 9 o'clock on Thursday. I am heading back towards my house. I had to go into the city for a breakfast order. I got there super early, so it took, time-wise, it took me way longer than it should have because you never know with traffic. Like, I don't know if you can see the traffic on that side. It's pretty bad. That's where I would have been going. So I got there probably like a half hour early. But it was super easy. I just had to take it up to the 5th floor and unload it, and I'm done. Now I'm heading back to my house. Funny thing is, my husband has a lunch in the city, and then he'll be coming back home. And then he has a dinner. Oh, here comes traffic. He has a dinner at 5 o'clock that I told him I would drive so that he didn't have to worry about parking. So each of us are going to go in the city once, and then we're both going to go together. It's way too many trips to the city. But anyways, I hope you guys are having a good week, that you're making a lot of money and having fun. Things are good for me. I've been consistently hitting a goal. I was short one day this week, but I'll make it up today. My goal is, I say it's for Monday through Friday, so that when I don't make it or I'm short a day, I know that I have Saturday and or Sunday if I had to do something to make it. So it's pretty easy. And I'm made a new rule for myself that I am generally done after catering. So like around 1 or 2 o'clock, I always have myself on the ship schedule. So if something comes in for that, then I will do that, obviously, but I tend to not do anything else because I'm not keeping Instacart on just to keep not taking orders. I think the more you don't take, the worse orders you get. So, and I just don't feel like doing food delivery that much anymore. I do have to get DoorDash back up. I am on the Platinum Dash for the 2nd week, so I need to start getting at least 5 a day done. I couldn't do breakfast this morning because I left the house at like 6:15, 6:30, something like that. I think 6:30. And no, I think it was more like 6:15 because my pickup was 7:38. So I couldn't do it. I'm going to get home, it says like around 9:40-ish. So my lunch pickup isn't until 11, so I can hopefully do a couple from in between those times. And then I can usually drop off like 11:15, 11:20, and then hopefully get a couple lunch orders. I want to at least get 5 a day so that I can get back to Platinum and maintain it. I don't want to go all crazy like we were doing and, get that number up too crazy high because then I can't keep it. So that's my story for DoorDash. I know there's been a lot of chatter on YouTube lately about all the catering apps. By the way, I figured I'd give you the driving view instead of the me view because I left my Android at home, so this is my iPhone, and it's putting a halo over me. So it's kind of distorted, so I didn't want to have you guys work through that, so I just figured I'd give you the scenic view. So back to catering. I know that there's a rumor going around again that Easy Cater owns Zifty. I know UDM had somebody on, and that was her theory, and now I see it all over all of the Facebook pages. That is it true? What's going on? I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on anymore. Like, part of me believes it because Zifty is like the most different from the other 2 big apps. So we don't know where we're going, which is my biggest pet peeve this morning. So whenever I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm always checking my phone, which I'm sure everybody else does, to see if there's any orders on the board. Well, at 5:15 this morning on Zifty, there was a $125 order. So, with Zifty, you've just got to accept. So I accepted it and I got it, which I don't understand how. So when I looked at it, it just said near Wacker Drive. Well, we all know that's a big decline for me because I'm not chancing to go anywhere near Lower Wacker, and I don't know where my drop-off is to see. And it doesn't give any instructions. I'm not sure. I've never really looked at Deliver That to see if they give you the instructions on the offer or not. I know obviously Deliver does. So there's been times like yesterday. Yesterday I went downtown. It was the easiest drop off and I had to go to a loading dock, but it was like literally right there. Like I didn't have to go down an alley. It was on a main street. It was just right there. It was so easy. So, but I was able to read that and say, yes, I want this order. You can't do that with Zifty. With Zifty, there are 1,021,50 orders. And there are orders that I know I personally have had two that I've taken. They weren't the $20 variety, but they weren't much. They were like, $35 maybe. And out of the blue, I got an update saying that my order went up and it wasn't a relish. So I don't know if they're starting them off low, but then I don't see any benefit to them. If they're going to bump it up to what it was anyways, what's the benefit of trying to get them low? I don't know, but it's happened to me twice. So that's a little odd. And then the person who was talking to UDM made the best point ever that you hear of, speaking of delivered, yeah, they text, okay. You hear of Deliver trying to get direct partners, Deliver That trying to get direct partners, which let me tell you, their new one for Potbelly is the worst. Their Potbelly is so big out here, like literally it's like McDonald's, there's one on every other corner. And when it's an Easy Cater order for like the big warehouses for Amazon and Factor, they're big payouts and they're great. These, I have yet to get, I did get one offer for a Potbelly that had a tip. I think it was a $10 tip. Other than that, they're coming in at $8. Who in their right mind is going to take anything for $8? Because it's not like an $8 DoorDash where it's, one bag of food. No, it's a catering order. They're like $300 worth of food. I don't know of one person who would take that. So why even get that direct partner if your drivers aren't going to take it? I don't get it. Again, I don't claim to know all the back end stuff. I don't, whatever, but coming from a driver's perspective, those orders aren't getting delivered. So why even try? I don't see 0 tip deliveries on Delivered. So they must do something to make sure that their drivers are getting tipped, because sometimes they're not big tips, but they're at least tips. So there's a place called Soul and Smoke. When we get a Soul and Smoke order, it's a 5% tip that comes on it, but I will take it. Now that I've done one, it is the easiest. They come out with a cart to you. If you need help loading, if it's a huge order, they'll help you load it. And then normally their orders are just drop-offs. So it's so easy. So even if I had $2,000 worth of food and I get, even 90 to $100, it's worth it, because the time that it takes me to do it is well under an hour, and they're not super far from my house. The drive will take me a little bit more than total. With the drive, it'd probably be like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. But for $100, that's great money. I need to stop. I think I've told you this before, that my husband's trying to retrain my brain for me, because I just automatically think I need a 10% tip, at least a 10% tip. Otherwise I'm not taking anything. But in reality, let's take this Soul and Smoke order, $2,000. What did I have last week? I think I had $2,500 worth of this restaurant. It's a barbecue restaurant. I think I told you guys. I want to say, I don't remember how much I got. It was 5%. So $100 and something I got paid. And it was so easy. It was 6 boxes. 4 of them were food. 1 of them was chafing, and 1 of them was sauces. So it's not that it's that much food either that you're having to worry about. And I have to retrain my brain with Instacart. Like, I want the perfect Instacart order, which does not exist by me at all, ever. So I have to start saying, okay, it's $25. Can I get this done in an hour? If I can, then it's worth it. So I know a lot of people on the delivered boards are complaining about the tips, but if you look at it as far as how long it's going to take you versus how much you're paying, forget about the food cost. And it's easier for me to forget about the food cost as well because I have the truck. So I can fit a crap ton of food in here. I've done a $3,000 order by myself, and it was super easy. I still am trying to figure out what to do. Like this morning, my breakfast was $1,200 worth of food, and it was a bagel shop. So I had, I don't know, let's say 10 boxes of bagels. And then I had, in my catering bags, I had 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 smaller trays of fruit. Well, in my cart, I would have put the bags on the bottom, like in first, but then how am I going to stack these boxes of, each box had 24, bagels or pastries. I can't do that. So I'm trying to figure out, what do I want to get? Do I get a flatbed? I have a smaller flatbed, but I don't know what to get for these larger orders that I really can't stack. So I have to figure that out. What do you guys use? I don't know if I've ever asked you. Do you use, I don't know if anybody watches, I don't know, his name is Pat in New York. He has this dolly that converts to a 4-wheel dolly, and he puts boxes and stuff on there, and that's great. But is that good for me? Because won't my catering bags hang over, like if I put them sideways, like long ways or whatever? I don't know. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So back to Zifty. I've never ever seen an order on Zifty that wasn't Easy Cater, and that's what this person who was talking to UDM said. That's why they believe Easy Cater owns them, and it makes a little bit of sense. So what do you guys think? Does Easy Cater own an app? If they do, which one do you think it is? I used to think that Deliver That was their favorite when they had the tip pool, because they could send them anything and it was going to get taken because it was only a tip pool, you know. I don't know. And again, I wouldn't get Deliver That orders, so I wouldn't know how that really honestly worked. I've gotten more, I've taken more in the past 2 months than I did probably all of last year. And that's pretty sad. When I have over 400 undelivered and barely 20, maybe 23 on Deliver That, and I signed up for them on the same day. And on that note, and I don't want to ruffle any feathers or, you know, have anybody get mad at me, but I believe that the reason Deliver That had to change was because of the content creators. I don't know about you guys, but when I first started doing all this gig work, what's the first thing that people are going to do? They're going to look things up on YouTube. You know, obviously, Pedro DoorDash Santiago was the first one that would come up when you put DoorDash in. So people would watch his channel and learn how, like, the ins and outs and what to expect and what to do and, you know, all these things. I personally don't like watching him anymore because he is way too complaining for me. I can't handle, I complain. Everybody complains. You have a bad day and you complain about what it is, but I don't get on this channel and try to trash talk every single app. I try to be as positive as you can be, because positivity is going to get you better results than negativity. If you go out with a negative attitude, you're going to find all the negativity in the whole entire world. So when I learned about, I don't even remember who I learned about. You want me to tell you who the first person I ever watched was after Pedro, because Pedro came up for DoorDash, was Jerome from Cars and Cribs. I love this man because he is so positive. He'll put in, you know, bad days in there, and he'll say what he did wrong and what he could have done, but it's still positive. That's what I need in my life, not any more negativity. You want negativity, turn on the news. So I don't even remember who I learned the catering from at all, but I know that I did watch UDM. I watched Nola I think I was watching Nola before he was doing catering. I can't remember, but I remember the day that he got the preferred test and passed, and I remember the day that they made him elite. So these are the people that people are watching, And when you see them get all of these great orders, and when you see them complain that, they took the tip pool away, and you see them, one of them said that they had 75 orders on their phone for the week, and they were waiting to pick and choose which ones they wanted. And that's a great luxury to have, and I'm sure that if any of us had it, we would accept every offer too. But now you're holding them so other people can't get them, or you're holding them and you're releasing them at the last moment, and either people that, I don't know, for lack of a better word, shouldn't be getting the bigger orders is now getting them, because the ones that are the better, that have taken the most orders on the platform, and that's usually who's supposed to get the better orders, their day is already planned because you decided to hold on to orders for 5 days or however many days. I'm making that up. I think, people in this world today complain about everything. You don't think that all of these apps get phone calls every single day complaining about something? I personally think that people were fed up with their phones never dinging, and these two had every order under the sun and complained too much to ezCater. And I think ezCater made Deliver that. Again, I don't know this. This is just my theory. I could be completely off base. But from what my perspective is, people complained that there were favoritism. They would go to their home office, their headquarters or whatever, and get taken out for lunches, or they would come here, and just a whole bunch of stuff that people would, I'm sure, complain and say, why do I even do this if I'm never going to get orders? And I think ezCater made them change that. That's the only reason that I could think of as far as them completely ignoring them. I mean, they went from, come on in, come visit us, we'll take you out for dinner, we're going to come there and take you out, and this person is the best and whatever, to not returning phone calls. There's something fishy about that. So I don't know what their agreement was. Were they making them elite so that they can give them all the orders in return for them hyping up their app? I don't know. I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no, because I don't know. But it makes sense as to why they kind of cut them off. Before I started this, I was a treasury analyst at a machine company in the accounting department. If my boss pulled me in and said, now I need you to just do accounts receivable, he wouldn't coddle me and say, are you okay with this? Is this going to hurt your feelings? No, it's business. So that's what I think Deliver That did. Is it? I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just say this is the real world, that it is not good for those people that were promoting them, but it's a business decision, and business decisions have no feelings towards employees, none whatsoever. They do what is best for their bottom line, or what their higher ups are told them to do. So I don't know. Back to my original question. If ezCater owns an app, which one do you think it is? After listening to that person, I would say Zifty makes sense, because they don't do anything other than ezCater. But I don't know, are getting direct partners part of what ezCater wants, so that they can claim that market on an app that they own as well? I don't know. What I wish is that somebody would come in as competition as ezCater, so that they are not a monopoly, and they can, another app could pick up the slack where we think ezCater kind of, for lack of a better term, screws us in the end. I don't know. Delivered, or whatever it's called now, Expedite, which to me, the Sears Tower is still the Sears Tower. It is not the Willis Tower. Delivered will always be Delivered. I still think that they are the better of all of the catering apps. I think that, I know people have issues with it now. My issue, and it's not with Delivered, it's that everybody is elite now. We were getting, multiple orders a day, and now we're getting one. And I'm not complaining, because I'm very thankful. I do have 2 today, but the more people become elite, the more, or the less orders that are going to be to spread around. And I think back to, I I don't know how many elites were in my market when it was like the normal, you had to be the top 10%. But I know I was the first one to get orders after the elites. And sometimes there was nothing there. So if there was fewer elites and still nothing there, like there's even fewer now. If that, I know I'm talking in a circle kind of, but my point is there's not enough elite orders to be given to all the elites that there are. Something needs to be done in order for the elites to be thinned out. That's my opinion. It's been my opinion since day one. So what do you guys think? Again, you know me, I try to be as positive as I can. I'm not going to trash talk people. I'll give you my opinion and why. Like I said, Pedro, I just can't anymore with all of the negativity, like all of it. And my other thing is the, what do you call it? When they put their title as clickbait, as something that is really not what we think that it is. I don't get it. I get that people get paid doing these YouTube videos, and if I got paid, maybe I would think differently. I don't think so. I would still rather be, myself and not sell out to try to make views to make more money, if that makes sense. But that's just me. Hopefully I didn't ruffle any feathers or hurt any feelings, because that was not my intention. It's every time I go on Facebook, whether it's any of the app's Facebook pages, it is always complaining. And now the big one is that Zifty is owned by ezCater. Zifty went back to having the orders on the board, which kind of makes me sad. I know I'm in the minority with that one, because everybody hated the exclusive offers. I liked it strictly because I didn't have to have that app up 24/7 anymore, because they would send it to me. So I am too busy throughout the day to keep my nose on this app. And I don't want my life to be run by an app. And that's maybe, now that I say it out loud, maybe that is why I love Delivered so much, because I know I have to be by my phone at 1:00 and that's it. Once I get my orders, I'm done. I can occasionally look, to see if there's something on the open board, which there is zero on our open board anymore. So, but I'm done. It's like I have to give them 5 minutes. My offers come in at 1:01 and they're generally done by 1:03. So 3 minutes of my time each day, and I know what I'm doing for the next day, instead of stalking Zifty like a crazy person all day long. But it went away, so I don't know if it'll ever come back, but everything's back on the board. The exclusive offers on Deliver That, they're okay. I've had, pretty decent orders, like $250 worth of food for $55, and I taken them, but then 1:00 rolls around and I get something better on Delivered and I cancel it immediately so that somebody else can get it and somebody else can work their day around it. I don't know. That's just me. I don't want to be hoarding everything, because it's not fair to other people. But I know life isn't fair, and I know everybody's out for themselves, and that's fine. But that's my story for the day. What do you guys, do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Let me know in the comments. Also let me know, and I think I asked this before, about if you are doing larger orders, what kind of cart are you using? Like, I had to use the flatbed from this building today for the breakfast delivery because I didn't want to smash everything. So I need to figure out what I want and just go and get it and be done. My big cart, I love it for the size of it, but it's just too hard to maneuver. And it weighs too much for me to get in and out. So what do you guys use for that? What do you think about ezCater? Do they own one of these apps? If you think that they do, which one do you think that it is? Do you think any more changes are coming from any of the apps? I mean, we all, I think, can agree that ezCater is the one that made everybody change everything. And some think it's for the good, some think it's for the bad. What do you guys think? So I hope you have a great rest of your day and to make a lot of money. And I will try to get this posted tonight, and we will chat later.